So this might sound familiar, and a lot of people know straight away what I'm talking about. But we have the same old thing. Imagine it happened before, just down the street in Dáil with a printer. And now this is the National Children's Hospital, the most expensive hospital in the world, just to say. It's hospitals in America and stuff, massive. But this still costs, more than any of the hospitals together. It's insane to think about, and it's still not finished yet, so we're still going to add another few billion onto it by the end of it. But long story short, the same old in Ireland. Nothing has ever learned. Everything just happens the same way. So this specialist equipment that is, life-saving for people, for children particularly, is too fit to fit in the lab of the National Children's Hospital. And that's pretty much it. So they pretty much have to knock down loads of walls and stuff to get it in. So it's going to cost another few million to do this alone. They didn't think about this, in the planning stage or anything. Like, it's quite marvellous mistake, let's put it that way. Because, let's be fair, I'm sure when they sat down and planned it, because they spent years planning it and doing drawings and stuff, I'm sure none of them ever thought, maybe this machine might not fit into this place. It is a big machine. We probably should make loads of space. So basically now what I'm trying to say, they have to knock down a load of walls and trick about and spend another few million, or God forbid billions, to get this machine into the place. And then at the end of it all, it won't work and nobody will know how to use it. Sounds familiar. So this is just down the road, Dáil, the houses of the Oireachtas. Cost of the Dáil Puerto. Like, this was the biggest fuck up you could find. So pretty much this big lump of a Puerto. We talk about the environment and stuff like that. Imagine the amount of paper this is using up, and ink and stuff like that. We talk about the environment, this is something. So long story short, we spent 2 million on a Puerto. Actually, sorry, this was a Puerto of 10 million. It cost 10 million. But the Puerto was too big for the room. So they had to knock down a load of walls and basically trick about and spend the 2 million on knocking down walls and moving things about and all that. And then after it all went in, the staff didn't know how to use it. They didn't know how to use it, so they spent another few 100,000 to train the staff how to use it. And then after all that was finished and said and done, the printer didn't work. So they spent another few million on doing it. So at the end of it all, it was about maybe 20 million they spent on this printer alone to trick about. So this is pretty much, we've learned nothing. Because you think they would have probably said, this happened before. We should probably make sure we have room for this. Because, let's be fair, they will have to knock down loads of walls and it can fuck away. Let's put it that way, in the nicest possible way. The clerk of the Dáil says it was an honest mistake. I wonder whether they use that excuse again. There was an honest mistake. We didn't know anything about it. But it's pure incompetence. Because you must know, I'm sure they knew. I'm sure when they decided, whoever decided in the House of the Oireachtas, first of all, to buy this monstrosity, I'm sure they knew they wouldn't fit it into the room. I'm sure they're not that incompetent. They couldn't be that incompetent. If they're that incompetent, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, definitely, they probably should have thought about it, because medical equipment is big. And they have been planning this for a long time. It's not like they decided to build it on the random day. They've been at it for the last few years, building it. And then obviously the design and planning and all that was for the last nearly 10 years. More, probably 15 years, since I probably was born. They've been planning this hospital. And it still hasn't been completed, and we're still here. And it's too big to fit. That's what she said, but all jokes aside, another few million going to be set down the drain. But again, these people who done this mistake, you think they'd be given the sack or told to go and not be on the project again. We won't employ them on another project. But yeah, all's forgiven. But yeah, pretty much as I say, you think they would have learned from this. It'd be different if this only happened, the Dáil Puerto, and then they were like, right, any other project that the state undertakes, I know these are private contractors that are building a National Children's Hospital, but they think they would have learned from this and were like, right, we make sure this never happens again. Said somebody. Said no one. But yeah, it's in a great country. We can knock down walls all the time. Mighty stuff, may I add. Mighty, mighty stuff. Anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe more, and bye.